Welcome to this explainer. You know, over half the population is going to deal with an itchy, flaky scalp at some point in their lives. Half. So today, we're going to play medical detective to solve this incredibly frustrating, yet super common mystery. If you've been dealing with persistent itching or that uncomfortable tight feeling when you run your fingers through your hair, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly what is happening up there and, more importantly, how to permanently fix it.
We have all been there, right? Doing that dreaded, stealthy shoulder check for flakes, frantically brushing off a dark shirt before anyone notices. But wait, before you panic and grab the harshest shampoo off the drugstore shelf, we really need to ask one crucial question to crack this case. Is it actually dandruff, or is your scalp simply crying out for moisture? Getting this initial diagnosis wrong can actually make your problem much, much worse.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Anatomy of a Dry Scalp.
It is so incredibly easy to forget, mostly because it's completely covered by hair, but your scalp is literally just an extension of the skin on your forehead. And just like your face or your hands, it desperately needs moisture and hydration to stay healthy. In fact, a moisturized scalp is the absolute foundation for healthy hair growth. Think of a healthy moisture barrier like a protective shield. When the skin on your head loses that essential hydration, the shield essentially cracks. This causes the skin to become irritated, sensitive, and eventually it starts to flake off. Without that critical moisture balance, your scalp completely loses its fundamental ability to protect and renew itself.
So, what exactly are the clues we're looking for in our investigation? Well, if you're feeling this uncomfortable tight tension on your head, or if you're noticing dusty, tiny white flakes falling almost like snow when you run your fingers through your hair, yeah, you're looking at the classic calling cards of a dry scalp. You might also feel a persistent burning or stinging sensation, or even notice some red, inflamed patches when you part your hair. If you're nodding your head right now to any of these, your moisture barrier is officially compromised.
Let's move on to Section 2, Common Dry Scalp Triggers. A dry scalp rarely has just a single isolated cause. It's almost always a combination of forces working against you. We can actually divide our primary suspects into two main camps: external factors that are actively stripping away your natural oils from the outside, and internal factors that are fundamentally failing to replenish that required moisture from the inside. Let's dig into the external ones first.
Now, these external suspects are particularly sneaky because they are so often just totally normal parts of our daily routines. Cold winter weather and low humidity environments, they simply suck the ambient moisture right out of your skin. And honestly, it gets worse in the shower. Hot, hard water with a high mineral content leaves this microscopic residue that causes severe irritation over time. And then there's the routine itself. Washing your hair every single day, applying daily styling gels, relying heavily on dry shampoos, and frequently using hot tools can leave heavy residue, clog your pores, and completely disrupt your scalp's delicate moisture balance.
Let's pivot over to our internal suspects, because understanding these really builds a complete picture of your skin's health. It brilliantly illustrates how what you put into your body matters just as much as what you put on your hair. If you aren't drinking enough water, dehydration quite literally halts healthy skin cell renewal right at the source. A diet packed with refined sugars and processed trans fats, or one lacking in essential omega-3s, zinc, and B vitamins can cause systemic inflammation that shuts down your healthy oil production. And hey, let's not forget stress. High stress spikes your cortisol levels, triggering a hormone imbalance that absolutely wrecks your skin's moisture barrier. It is a literal mind-body connection happening right on top of your head.
Now, to be truly thorough detectives, we also have to rule out underlying medical conditions, because sometimes it really isn't just the weather or your shampoo. We're talking about conditions like psoriasis, which causes skin cells to build up rapidly in thick plaques, or tinea capitis, which is actually a highly contagious fungal ringworm that causes severe dryness and scaling. There's also actinic keratosis, a precancerous condition stemming from cumulative sun exposure that's fairly common in males over 50, and eczema, specifically seborrheic dermatitis, which involves an abnormal immune response to natural yeast. If you suspect any of these might be the culprit, it's definitely time to put down the over-the-counter bottles and bring in a medical professional for a proper diagnosis.
Next up, Section 3, Dry Scalp versus Dandruff.
This is where things get really interesting. There is a stark contrast between these two conditions, yet we constantly confuse them. Why? Well, because they both cause an incredibly itchy, flaky scalp. But let's look at the root cause. A dry scalp is fundamentally a lack of moisture, resulting in small, white, dusty flakes that fall easily, usually accompanied by a really tight feeling. Dandruff is the exact opposite. It's actually caused by excess oil production and a subsequent yeast overgrowth, which creates larger, yellow, sticky, or oily flakes that tend to clump together. Plus, a dry scalp often means you probably have dry skin elsewhere on your body, like your elbows or hands, while dandruff is typically confined exclusively to those oily zones.
And here is the absolutely crucial point, beautifully summarized by our sources. Identifying the correct issue is the only way to find the right treatment. Think about it. If your scalp is crying out for moisture because it's dry and tight, and you blast it with harsh, heavy-duty dandruff chemicals designed to strip away excess oil, oh man, you are going to make the problem significantly worse.
Which brings us to Section 4, Hydration and Healing Strategies. Okay, mystery solved. We've uncovered the triggers, and we've successfully distinguished our dusty flakes from the sticky ones. Now let's talk about the actual prescription. Treating a dry scalp correctly requires a structured 3-step approach. Step 1, hydrate from within. Drink plenty of water to support collagen production and cellular renewal, and adjust that diet to include those healthy omega-3 fats. Step 2, back off the daily harsh scrubbing. You need to cleanse gently, maybe washing less frequently or using slightly cooler water, so you aren't stripping away the little bit of natural oil you have left. And step 3, introduce targeted, soothing moisture straight back into the scalp.
So if all the evidence points to a dry scalp, you need the right tools in your shower caddy. Our sources specifically highlight targeted products like Dr. Groot's Scalp Revitalizing Solution Shampoo, especially when paired with their Miracle In-Shower Treatment and Conditioner. A regimen like this is highlighted because it's designed to do exactly what we just discussed. Gently cleanse that daily buildup away without stripping your delicate moisture barrier, while actively working to hydrate and protect the skin.
On the flip side, what if your detective work revealed larger, oily, sticky flakes? Well, then you have to pivot your strategy entirely. You're dealing with dandruff, which means you need an antifungal approach to target that excess oil and yeast overgrowth directly. In that specific case, you'd reach for something designed for that exact issue, like Dr. Groot Anti-Dandruff Scalp Care Shampoo, or you'd want to consult a dermatologist to map out a dedicated, medicated treatment plan. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your own bathroom shelf and your daily shower routine. Are you washing in scalding hot water? Are you vigorously shampooing every single day without fail? The mystery of the flaky scalp is essentially solved, but the detective work to keep your own hair healthy, that starts right now. Drink some water, switch to a gentle cleanser, and give your scalp the critical moisture it deserves. So take a look in your mirror tomorrow morning and ask yourself, are you going to keep feeding the dry cycle, or is today the day you finally heal your skin?